I'd like to tell you a story today about a man who chose two fates. Now, there used to be a man named Augustine. Now, he was a brave man, a man that took chances, a man that was undefeatable in the face of life. The only thing he didn't like was the toil that he had to do every day just to be happy. And then he met something that he thought would take away that toil, that would give him eternal happiness without having to work for it. He met a woman that he thought could make his wife. And so he invested everything in her. He invested his future. He invested every second of every day thinking about her. He became like a little boy again, and even in that he was happy. But then when he went to go ask her out on a date to begin the journey towards wife and husband, he was met with a blinding light, her purity, her lack of flaw, that she was a good woman, a diamond in the rough that he had found. And her light showed to him that he was just a brute, a man that was an empathyless, egotistical man that had just found his way up there. And so she left. She saw his flaws. And when she left, scorched on his retinas was just the vision of his flaws. And he said there was no reason to keep going. So he decided to take a break. And he withered away into depression. He just sat there and did nothing. Nothing at all. Just existed. And he said, well, at least I'm not dead. And that's something. And he became weak, a stick, a shadow of the man he used to be. He changed his name even. He became Jeffrey. All he did all day was sit around and stare at the wall. He went to school. He about fell asleep every period just because he was always tired. Tired because he had nothing to live for, so why even engage? And then one day he looked in the mirror and he remembered. He remembered how he used to be. And he wanted to be that way again. He was happy about it. But then he realized there was a struggle to get there. That vitality had a cost. And he said, well, I could stay here and be comfortable, be docile. I'm okay. I don't need to change. I'm just still taking a break. I've given up. I'm taking this new way of life. I can't go back. And then he had a change of heart because he realized that having no life is not worth living for at all. And so he went back. He changed his name back to Augustine. He decided, today's the day I'm going to change. He got right back on the track. He went to the gym every day. He decided to make a mark on his existence. He made new friends. He tried new experiences, and he realized he still had that thirst for life within him. He still had that birthright to kick and to scream and to fight against when life knocks you down. And so he became Augustine the Great again. Now what this story tells to me is that you don't lose when you get knocked down. You lose when you fail to get up again. And the thing about it is you choose when you get back up. You can choose at any time to pick up your cross again, to continue on with the struggle of life because you know it's actually worth it. And I have a story today about me, myself, and why I know this to be true. Because I addressed in my last 2 videos ago in how I let go of this girl that I had placed everything on, that I had thought would be my wife, that I thought could at least be the start of something beyond the trivial girlfriend-boyfriend that high school had been. And then she showed to me that I was nothing. I was just still a boy. And I realized that all of my struggle, my pain, all that I had put into it was worth almost nothing. And I fell into a deep, distraught state where I just did nothing. I didn't use social media. I didn't talk to people. I didn't jack off. And most of all, I didn't do anything. I just read. I thought, well, at least this is productive. I can read. And I realized I had secluded myself in a room with thoughts. The worst place to be, in your own head. And so for 2 months, I did nothing. My physical state degraded. I made 1 video. I was on a bad track towards losing everything I had gained because I said, it's not worth it anymore. Look at where it got me. Look at where it got me. And then I really thought about what I just said. And I said, look at where it has got you. I realized I'm better at talking to people. I realized I don't have to worry about just losing people because I need them. I realized that I can just have. I can be happy with what I have. And then on December 11th, I was still in my distraught state, still thinking about how I could maybe make today better, be a little happier in my selfish state where I just kind of did what I wanted. And then I realized that nothing happens on December 11th. And I thought, well, geez, what's the point even? And then I realized, what's the point to my life? That's a really deep existential question, I know. But then I realized what I was doing. I was doing nothing. I wasn't leaving a mark on the world. I was a nobody. And I realized how bad that felt. And I went home and I was still thinking on this, that I was nobody. And then I remembered I am somebody. I've kissed a girl. And that memory right there brought me back. Even if you never have, think with me right now. Just embracing somebody. Having your faces melt together, even if that's gross. And then just emerging from that breathless. Realizing that you just took place in something that people don't see for years. Years on end. That people have to fight for. That people go to war for. And you've experienced it, and now here you are sitting doing nothing. And thinking on that brought me out of my stupor. Because I realized something needed to change. I realized the way I'd been going was a terrible way. It was revealed to me through a quote in the Screw Tape Letters. It said, "The road to hell is a gentle slope, soft underfoot, with no sudden turns and no way signs." And it's because that's the way that sloth takes a hold of you. Because you're doing nothing, but you're slowly going down until you're living in your own hell and you don't know how to get out, because that's the thing about sloth. You can't do anything, because that's the vice itself, is doing nothing. Refusing to be who God made you to be. And so I took up a new vigor for life, and I went the next day and I said, something's got to change. But I had no plan, so nothing changed. I went through the day, I did random stuff that was a little bit better. I made jokes during cards. I tried to talk to people more. I even did like 10 push-ups. And I was like, yes! But then I realized I didn't really do anything. I didn't help my life. And it made me a little bit depressed again. And so I went and I failed NNN in December. And I was like... And I went and I was self-loathing of my own life. I didn't like what I was doing. I said, this is not going anywhere. And so I got angry and I said, tomorrow something's going to change. And so I got up yesterday. I got up today and I ran 6 miles at 6 a.m. in the cold rain. It's 34 degrees here. It's raining in Nebraska. And I got up and I ran in the rain both days. And I realized that then I was alive, because it hurt and I still did it, because I knew it was for a purpose, because it was helping me. And I realized that's better than not living at all, because Shakespeare said it too. In Julius Caesar, he said, cowards die 1,000 deaths, but a brave man dies only once. I realized I was on the coward side. I was afraid of truly living because it hurt a little bit. But it's better to hurt than be dead inside, to not have life, to not be able to experience those things that make life truly worth living. And so I took it up upon myself to make this video today to show this with you that seem to have lost your way. I don't care if it's been 1 week, 1 month, 1 year since you've been on self-improvement. You can always go back. Because I say if you've given up on self-improvement, that means you've given up on living. And the thing about giving up is it's never fatal. It's never the end. Because it's not over until it's over. So if you've given up, then all you have to do is take up the struggle again. And then you just took a break. And sometimes it's okay to take a break. But it's not okay to take a break forever. So take up that cross. Be that guy, because you are that guy. Because I'm Austin Smith is what I realized. I'm just not anybody. 700 of you think I'm worth listening to. So I'm somebody. And I had denied that truth. I had fallen into just doing whatever I felt like, being selfish. And so I ask you to follow like I followed Dale Carnegie's quote. He said, all men have fears, but brave men put down their fears and go forward. Sometimes to death, but always to victory. Because it's better to live fully than to not live at all. And so I say, if you're ready to go out and retake up the struggle, to continue forward, if you've fallen off the boat, if you've fallen off the wagon, get back on. Because it's not time to settle for less than your best. never settle for less than your best.